Hey, how's it going, fellow INFJ folk? So, take a little moment. Ow, burnt myself. You guys know what that is, right? Some good old sage. Yeah, just trying to get some feel good vibes. You know that? It's a little bit of our spiritual practice, just brushing off, cleaning off, recovering yourself. A little feel good. The reason why I'm talking about feel good is because I just had a little memory trigger, you know, just not some good feelings, not some good thoughts. Just let this burn out while I talk. And I think, and so what I was thinking about is like individuality. I don't know if other INFJ feel like this, but I'm pretty sure I feel like this. Like I embrace my individuality. Like even being an INFJ, you know how we're supposedly the most, what do you call, we're the most uncommon, right? And like a lot of the stuff that I do, I always try and look to be different. Like I never want to follow the crowd. I always question everything. I'm very skeptical, very judgmental, even on myself. It's like I gotta check myself all the time. Make sure I'm an individual. I don't want to be the same. Like of course, when you're learning stuff, like you tend to copy things, so you learn a good way of doing things, but then you start implementing your own self into whatever you're doing. Um, and so like I really try to focus on that individuality. And so what brings this up is like I got a text from my wife. Like I was telling her about all the toilet paper being cleared off the shelves. She's like, "Oh no, not again." And what she said, like, I guess we're gonna have to be like this one person in our family. He's a husband to a relative in the family, and he's cool. Like me and him, like we're cool with one another, and we like each other. He's like one of my where I could be myself with him to a good extent, more than most guys or even most people. And I think we kind of vibe and we're similar in ways. We both like to isolate each other, but also we're real good-hearted type of people. And anyway, what what he did over at his household, because of the toilet paper thing, he did a DIY and installed a bidet into their toilet. So so just just so they could go to the bathroom, didn't have to worry about toilet paper. So that's what they use, and they're kind of very that family was kind of happy, just in case the toilet paper thing happened again, that they had that bidet to fall back onto. And we already bought a big order, just expecting that this was gonna happen. But the fact that I went out tonight and seen that the shelves were empty, and I told her that, and because she reminded me, it's like, oh, well, looks like we're gonna have to do what this person does, the husband did. And it used to never get to me. Like, couple times it didn't bother me at all. It's like, yeah, cool, yeah, because he's a different type of DIY person. He does different things. He's crafty type of person. Me, I'm a totally different. Like I do video work and I do other photography. Like everything that I've ever done in my life, where it's done with speaking and presenting and all of that type of stuff, that was all DIYs. I learned how to do it and I started practicing, and I became real good at it. Um, so like we're totally different, but just because I'm so isolated and I keep to myself, and none of them like really saw me do the things that I do or what I get paid for. Like, cause my stuff that I did, I was took me out of the household and I was traveling and doing all of that. But his was more so in the household and doing it for family members, where he'd be doing crafts and design, or like making clothes and cultural regalia and all of that type of stuff. And so a lot of people in the circle like admire it more. Um, and then an extensive community and an extended family, they see it more because he does it more for them, because that's stuff that he does. But anyway, like when my wife would bring up stuff that I was doing, because they'd ask what I would be doing and why I'm not at an event or a family event, and I'd be asking, and she'd tell them like, oh, this is what he's doing now, and this is, and they're like, well, how do you learn that? Then she told them how. And I'm like, oh, so he's kind of like this specific person. They're relating everything that I was doing all the time to that person. And it didn't really bother me, because it was like some sort of relation to them. Like, okay, yeah, I can understand it. But when I was actually there, they're like, hey, when I would bring up something, oh, hey, you're just like him. Oh, you're doing something just like him. Oh, you're kind of like him. Like all the time. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but like, I'm an individual. Like, everything I do is nothing compared to what he's doing. Don't relate me to it. I'm not the same person. Like, I get it. It's similar, but totally different. I'm an individual. He's an individual. Stop comparing us. Like, even the kindness stuff that I'll do. And and then there was a competitive thing, not so much from me, but I think from them, because they're a couple and they married after us. And like, kind of like everything that I would do, this person was kind of like one upping us. Like, oh, they see what we would do, so then they'll do something to one up us. Like, like even with my wife's wedding ring, I bought her the diamond ring, and so he went and got a size just a little bit bigger. I was like, oh, it's all right. It's cool with me. It didn't bother me. But then everything after that was kind of trying to one up everything. And so, like, I caught onto that, and I was like, all right, cool, yeah. I'm making my money work the way I make it work. I got my family's twice the size, so yeah. And I was the only one working. Both of them were working, and my wife just started working, but so it's different. Anyway, so just having that, and like, just so that's just triggering the individuality. Is like, man, like, I really pride myself on being an individual, and I know what do you call it? Outcasts me, and I become, because I'm so different, and I try to be so different, and I focus on my individuality, that people can't relate to me. And some people may look at it and talk about it like it's a not a good thing. But then, like, especially in them groups, they talk about diversity and inclusiveness and all of this type of stuff. But when it comes down to it, all they want to hear is different people who look different, sound different, but are just the same. And they talk about the same stuff the same way. And so that's why I don't like being in those type of groups. Individuality. Then it falls on to another INFJ who brought up criticism. Because then people will try and criticize me, like, well, you need to fall in line, basically. You need to talk like us. You need to work on making it more aligned with what we're saying. And I'm like, no, but the reason why I don't say the stuff that you guys are saying is because there's wrongs in what you're saying and how you're saying it. There's hypocrisy in what you're doing and what you're saying. I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to say it, but it's because I follow my morals and my values, and I stick to them. I get it. I'm a I'm a contradiction in my own self and my own being, but that's the way I am. Yeah, I know. So like that's just, or I guess you could see my aggression, or my not my aggression, my the trigger, how that triggers me, you know. But that's the thing. Like I embrace my individuality, and do you? How do you embrace your individuality? And does it get under your skin when people try to compare you to others? Does it get under your skin when people are trying to criticize you because you are different and because they don't understand you? I guess that goes into why we're so misunderstood, but it goes back into that thing that I said, where it's like, if these people that you're talking to or communicating with are talking about diversity, diversiveness, and inclusivity, they're missing it by not trying to understand you and be inclusive, you know, and trying to compare you. Like I get comparing, but there's a fine line between love and hate in that, you know. All right, but those are my thoughts. That's my feelings. Individuality, criticism, and the aggression that comes with it. Ooh, I think that's what I'm going to call it. Yeah, I don't know. All right. But this is Comanche the INFJ. Thank you for listening. I'm out of here. Live long and prosper. All of that good stuff. Leave a comment, like, comment, and subscribe. Till then, till next time. Peace out.